a wonderful weekend as always. Very good in today's program. But before we proceed, let's have a look at one of our adverts before we proceed with today's program.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them. At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Welcome back. I do hope that, as I said, you are having a wonderful time, and there is always a lot to talk about when it comes to Africa. Now, what have I got in today's program? I've got two very interesting guests. They've been here before, patriotic Kenyans, and they look forward to the program, and I look forward to the program as well. Now, Kenyans go to the elections next year. Ugandans have just started theirs this year, so things are still up and down as far as Uganda is concerned, but I hope they will recover. But already there's an infighting within the joint ruling parties in the country, the National Alliance, which is TNA, and the Jubilee Coalition. This is in Kenya we're talking about now. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta is at loggerhead with his deputy, William Ruto, over his approach to the elections and behaviour in public. Was this a one-off, or there is more to come before the elections next year? What about Kenya African Union, KANU? It's got to be the Kenyans now to let us know what really happened to this great party that was almost in Kenya for 40 years. Now, the first that is KANU, the first political party to rule Kenya, obviously, as I said, over those years. Can it make a comeback? What happened to it? What about political parties in the country? All of them, not just the few that we can mention. Can they start their campaigns as well? That is, if William Ruto has already started, then it means the ball is open for all the political parties in Kenya to also start campaigning. Now, before we start the ball rolling and I introduce my guests, I want to say something connected with the Ghana Union UK in partnership with Ghana Nurses Association UK and Western Region Association of Nurses in UK. They are presenting a very interesting topic, which is part of what is happening in this country, and that is the COVID-19, the vaccines, the facts, and the myth regarding it. This is going to be on Friday, the 12th of February, 2021, 7 p.m. here at Omega Live TV. So, a very interesting topic. Get behind it, get to know what's happening, and there are so many things that we really need to learn as far as COVID-19 is concerned. Now, without a further ado, my guests, Mr. Kenneth Kaunda Ouko, a finance and investment coach, Keynes, Money Matters Finance Services. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Very nice to have you. Now, and also here is Miss Sheila Maugo, a coach, Jean Coaching School. Welcome to the program as well.
Thank you very much.
Now, what is happening between two large elephants in Kenya? That is William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, as far as the elections are concerned. They are becoming early. William Ruto is trying to get his foot into the elections before anybody else does. And Uhuru is trying to tell him, go slow, go slow. I watched one of the rallies and he was saying he should go slow, go slow. What's going on? What's going on? Is he allowed to do this? Because other members of parliament, the deputy member of parliament was, I understand, either dismissed or removed from this post because he's not a William Ruto supporter. They're positioning themselves in positions of power even before the torch or the what is raised for everybody to start running for the race. What's going on? What's going on? It requires patriotic Kenyans to know, give us an insight on this. Yeah.
I'll let the lady go first.
Okay.
Okay. For me, what I would say is this just shows us how the political system that we have in Kenya does not really work for Kenya. Because we are in this very interesting position whereby the president and his vice are kind of at loggerheads. And the opposition, there is a third party to this. We have the opposition leader who is now in government, that is Raila. So it looks like the president is working with Raila. So it's like the head of state with the head of opposition are working together, while the deputy has been cast into this role of being the opposition, which in itself is a very odd and almost infeasible place to think of, to think that the deputy is now like in the opposition and the opposition leader is now kind of like the one that's on the right-hand side of the president. So to me, as a patriotic Kenyan, as you've mentioned, I look at it, I look at it in the way the proverb, there's an old proverb that says that when two bulls are fighting, or as you call them, elephants, it is the grass
that suffers.
So down here as patriotic Kenyans, I think we are suffering because we get caught in this fight that it has nothing to do with us, that whoever wins will not really benefit us in the long run. So maybe Ken can add more to it about the situation we are in.
Thank you so much for hosting us once again. And it's a lot has happened since we left. You know?
I know.
Things have changed now. We have to wear masks and everything.
We're living in another world altogether now.
We live in a completely different world.
I know.
So I was actually, quite happy to be here and to talk about this issue, because I want to divert the discussion a little bit and say that, we are dealing with something that is so unnatural to us as African people. If we are talking about Africa and talking about democracy, I think we've been on an uncharted path for a long time, and it's not working for us. You just mentioned in the beginning that Uganda had their elections.
Recently.
I would not call them elections.
Or democratic.
Or democratic in any way. So and the same thing happens in Kenya. We have this problem whereby we have the campaigns always rolling on and on. Basically, one election period rolls on to the other one. There's no break. There's no opportunity for us to actually focus on what's happening in the country. There's no opportunity for us to actually focus on the policies or whatever it is we want to change as political parties. Now, the main issue we are having currently is that Kenya is just experiencing the main issue of democracy.
All right.
And this is one thing I don't agree with democracy, and I don't even think it's democracy in Africa. It's something else. So what's happening is the interplay of what we have. It's not democracy. Whatever is happening in Kenya right now,
what is it?
Whatever it is, actually, I would actually say we have plucked a system that's called democracy from the Western world, and we have rooted it in Africa. And therefore, in our context, we don't have a name for it. It's like having something very foreign to you, but trying to fix it so much in your system for it to work for you. So far, I don't call it, in Africa, I would not call it democracy by all means. It's just a mixture of different kinds of rules. But it's also what I call the convenience coalitions. They just come together to meet their own interests in terms of, taking resources, because politics is not about resources. It's about power and division of resources. So when two or three people agree on how they want to divide these resources, they come together. So if we three people agree that, okay, we can divide it this way, and if it work for us, you will eat enough, I will eat enough, and she will eat enough, we will agree. And we will sit on the same table and come up with something, But if we sit on the same table and say, okay, you want to eat more than the two of us, we decide, you know what, we're not going to be with you. This time we want to eat too much. It's not about the people. That's why we have to get this very clear. There's no single time leaders sit because of the people. Because if it was because of the people, we would not sit here today and discuss where Uhuru is standing, where Ruto is standing, and where Raila is standing. We'd be discussing where the political parties are standing. Because in a democracy, the most important thing should not be the people, but the political parties. Now we have a system whereby the people are more important than the political parties. If you look at the people we are talking about today, they have revolved in all the parties in our country.
You mean you are talking about individuals right now?
Yes.
Rather than the entire, as we say, the entire country.
We are talking
about individuals like Uhuru Kenyatta
And
like
Ruto.
Museveni, Ruto. So we believe in that. But the beginning of that comes from which line of where you come from. This is where African politics has been. If you're a Yoruba man and you see a Yoruba man there, if you're an Ashanti man in Ghana and you see an Ashanti man, you want to stand behind him. So Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenya had moved away from that. That division of politics.
Actually, no, we not moved away.
Uganda, where Uganda is and the other, but Kenya was different. Because
no. Huh? It wasn't different. The media makes it look like it's different.
Really?
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Just watching how the Ugandan elections went and watching how the Ghanaian went, the Ghanaian one before that went, and watching how the Zimbabwean one went before that, and there was a South African one. Same thing. Same thing in that the winner has already been chosen. And then this idea of queuing to go to the ballot and the polarities before the day of the ballot, all this is the same thing. So it is a game, it's a charade. We are playing a game. And as Ken says, it is all because we are looking at individuals. Like right now, we are talking about Uhuru Kenyatta, we are talking about William Ruto. But Kenya has got millions of people, millions of people that can actually take on this mantle and be the president and vice president of this country. Millions of people that can head this party, the parties that they have, the respective parties they have. We have millions of them. But we are now saying the competition is between these two people as if they're the most important people in Kenya. These people have been in government for a very long time.
Over 10
they are
years,
both, yes, and they're both proteges of the late President Moi.
Of course,
They both were in KANU with him. So when you've asked where is KANU now, they were there. And now they went and had their own party. So in Kenya, parties have become a way in which you consolidate power, and with it you consolidate wealth and adoration. And this kind of people just look at you as if you are their savior. While really you're not saving them, you're harming them. So like right now, we waste so much time getting into this camp. So there is the camp for Uhuru, which we call it the dynasties. And then we have the camp for Ruto, which we call the hustlers. Both of these are very rich people. There is no hustler there. There is no person there that's suffering, even though they are having their little wars or big wars, however you look at it. The people that still can't put food on their table still cannot put food on their table.
Of course.
Regardless of which position they align themselves with. And this now we have gone further, and now we're not only looking at the tribal aspect of it. Right now we are looking at which side batters we're just looking, it's more ego now, and more thinking like, am I aligning myself with the dynasty or am I aligning myself with the hustler? Which is the same pervasive narrative as tribalism. But just trying to say that whatever is happening in Uganda and whatever is happening in Kenya, totally the same thing. As in come 2022, whoever the system will choose to be the president, that is the person that's going to be the president, regardless of how long you queue, how many protest marches you have, how much tear gas you get given by the police. It does not matter. Now it gets even deeper. It isn't only the state. When I say the state chooses the president, it's not the Kenyan state.
It's individuals.
It's not even the individual. It's state in the West.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, I would like to.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. But let me mention something before you go on. That she actually mentioned. Let me break down the Kenyan politics for you. Now you said Africa, Kenya was ahead. If you put 3 madmen or 4 madmen in a field, where people are competing, there are 4 madmen. They don't know what they're doing, and you tell them you want to choose a winner, so start running. These people will be running different directions, but by chance one of them may actually go to the right direction where the track is. And go to where you want them to go to. You understand? They're in a field, there's only one place they can win. There's only one ending point. But they don't know. They are mad people. So one of them may actually run towards that direction without knowing they're running there.
They're both running in the same.
That's African democracy. We are put with this system, we don't know where we're going to. None of us, in none of those countries can explain to you where democracy is taking our continent to.
Now, before we go further, President Uhuru Kenyatta wants to introduce something in a constitution. He says he's not changing the constitution in a way as it is. He just wants an amendment in various areas where the local person on the ground will have a bigger say than what the bigger elephants have been doing.
That is the BBI.
That's the BBI, that's where I'm heading, the BBI. So the idea, when I read about it, I thought, wow, what a wonderful idea. But
did you read the BBI?
Yeah, I was reading the report.
And you
because when you look at the report, it talks about jobs. It talks about the youth employment. It talks about bringing the youth into the system as well, so that they grow up knowing what's going on in the system. And it also talks about going into the ground level, into villages, so that it's much more, politics is not concentrated within the central system of government, but right onto the ground.
The problem now is...
And I looked at it and I think, well, in theory, the 9 points that are presented with BBI are very interesting, but can they work practically?
That's the question we should ask. Now, let me tell you something. Now, when it comes to the Constitution and BBI in particular, we have to agree that these are the same cycles and races that this political class has taken us through. Okay. Now, the things you're talking about, all of them are all in the 2010 Constitution.
All right.
That these people supported, that Raila Odinga led, and Uhuru also voted for.
Because
that Ruto opposed.
Okay.
The 2010 Constitution. Now, all of these things you mentioned, including jobs, the Constitution that brought about devolution, devolution that as we speak right now is not working as well. Okay. Why are we trying to bring in a new Constitution when what you actually enacted?
No, it's not a new one. It's just an amendment.
But
they're just putting amendments.
No, it's not an amendment. It's a new thing.
A referendum. That's going to bring completely new things. Okay. Including a prime minister post. That's not an amendment. That's not an amendment.
No.
So we have to agree what an amendment is. If we come and say, okay, we're going to change this article in the Constitution, that's an amendment. Okay. These articles. But if you come and say, we want to come up with a proper document that's going to alter the system of governance of the country, that's not an amendment of Constitution. No. That's a proper change of Constitution. When you're changing the governance of a country, when you're changing the revenue that's going to come from the central government all the way down to the floor, when you're changing the amount of it, that's an amendment. When you're increasing the number of MPs in the parliament, that's an amendment. That's not an amendment, that's a change of Constitution. So an amendment goes up to a certain level, but there's a level whereby if you go to changing a particular Constitution, you are changing so many things. Now, why I'm saying it's a change of Constitution is, why do you include the things that are already included in the current Constitution and haven't been achieved in the new Constitution? If it is an amendment, then focus on implementing what you had in the initial Constitution and bring in something completely new that we didn't have. But the 9 things you're mentioning are all
already in the
2010 Constitution. They are. And to add on that, the people, it's one thing having a document all nice and shiny. Is another thing making that document active, implementing it. We had a very nice and shiny Constitution that cost a lot of time, money and energy, and including lives of people for it to come into effect. It has not been implemented, very many big parts of it. Like we have something called the 2/3 gender law, which is to have a certain number of women in parliament. That has not been implemented up to now. Now we are saying, on top of having the women that we never managed to put them in the Constitution, we're now bringing in the youth. So you see, we have something called the devolved government, which had taken power off the national government, and now we have the counties, whereby the government the power has been localized. It is not working. It is not working to the level that they said would work in the Constitution.
Maybe now they're coming in. They're doing it too quickly.
No. Now they're coming in. They're coming in with another nice shiny document and saying this one is going to work, while they're failed, and it's the same players that endorsed the other document, that are now endorsed and failed to implement the other document, and quote unquote became the largest frustrators of implementation of that project. Now they are coming with this one at a very suspect time, at a time whereby
we're approaching the election.
We're approaching the election, and some people have now arrived at their second term. They cannot continue any further, including the president himself. Of course. So now we are having positions being created. This is nothing to do with the Mwananchi. This is everything to do with them protecting their interests. And the Kenyan Mwananchi, we thank the universe for having conversations like this. Because conversations like this are happening widely.
In Kenya.
Not widely, everywhere, in social media and everywhere else. And because they're happening, people are starting to wake up and realizing that, you know what, we don't actually need politicians to come and help us. We can help ourselves. So because people are doing that, they're taking the power away from the politicians. And now when the politicians now, and there's a lot of distrust about anything that comes with the politician's endorsement. So now when they are trying to popularize this BBI, a few people take bite and they say, yes, we supported this.
With it,
but you find they are supporting it either out of ignorance or they're getting something out of it. But the major part of the people, there is a lot of resistance that the government actually has sat down and taken note and said that many people are resisting this. Now that also has to be taken in consideration. But it looks like they want to bulldoze it and say we forget the people that are resisting it and we are just going ahead.
Move forward.
Yes, and this is the problem with our politicians in Kenya, especially the people at the top. When they have decided this is the path you are going to take,
no matter
even if the crowd says you are going this way, they say tough,
Yeah.
deal with it. We're going with this way. And those are the things we're saying, no, we don't want to do things this way.
One thing about this, what we're saying about BBI, is that it will prevent the post-election violence, which has happened in Kenya several times. It's happened in Kenya several times during the past 2 elections. And one of the reasons why they said, okay, if it goes ahead and we follow the pattern and we follow some of the points, the youth and the others will be part of the system. It will be very difficult for them to go out in the street and demonstrate when they are part of the system. That's how, anyway, they explain it, and I thought it was a good idea.
I'm telling you what I've read. I've read all of it, actually, the document.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the initial idea of BBI wasn't a bad idea. Because when they came to the people, the main thing that they mentioned was that they wanted to ensure that the winner takes it all system is done away with. Now, the winner takes it all here, the only way we could have it is whereby we could have different positions. Now, when you are talking about ethnicity, let me take you back. The reason why we are talking about winner takes it all is because of different ethnicities. Everyone was competing to have a cake, a piece of the national cake.
A cake and eat
that's
it,
why when the president said, I don't want the winner take it all, it meant one community taking it all. Because if you are one country, then one person becomes the president, then there's no winner take it all. Logically, if you're speaking. But now, the reason why I don't have an issue with people having different tribes. It's a good diversity. It's the ethnicity part of it. Or us paying stupid allegiance to those ethnic groups that becomes a problem. Us becoming different ethnicity is not a problem at all. Now, they said the winner takes it all makes a fight every time there's an election. What do? We bring in a system whereby the president is the head of state, and then we have the prime minister who helps the president as a head of state and head of government. Okay. Now, the prime minister was basically just to help with the portfolios and the cabinet secretaries. But the prime minister, I thought, was going to be someone who was in the constitution and has to be from a different community or a different party. There has to be a system to it. Now, the issue with the constitution right now, as they say, they did not mention that if you become the president today yourself, you cannot appoint me, who is your tribesman, as the prime minister. They didn't say that.
No.
Number one.
So you're allowed to appoint anyone.
To appoint me. And you're also allowed to fire me anytime you want to fire me. So the constitution does not protect me in any way. So how have you sorted the winner takes it all? Because if I appoint you as my prime minister and you're not following what I want, then at the same time I can just take you out of the government.
So they've actually given power.
So
they've added more power and added more people. And if you read that BBI document, you can actually see they're looking at, it's like they were looking for positions to put people in, people that cannot now legally go for the polls. So they've just kind of put a niche for them. This one will go here, this one will go there. But having said that, Kenya is not in a position, we are heavily in debt. We are not in a position to go and start funding this BBI or funding this more people inside it. Now, to speak about violence, when we look at violence, instead of saying, oh, when elections come, we are not going to have violence, so we're going to put this document. That is cutting the tree from the top instead of the roots. What causes this violence? What causes this election violence? And
they're seeing it because they're not connected to the grassroots politics.
It is the politician that polarize people. Right now, before the elections, people are living together, like the estate where I come from, where my parents live. Our neighbors, there's Somali, there is Kamba, there is Luya, there is Luo, there is Kisi. We are living in harmony. Come election time, it is the politicians who come from a particular tribe that says, you know what, these people are our enemy, these people are this. It is them that polarize. So here, instead of saying it's the youths that get violent, we need now to start taking these politicians to prison. Seriously. They are done because we can look for people that have actually led to this violence. Now, coming to this union between the president and the vice president, the two of them have been wanted by the ICC. Then the case got thrown out or whatever happened. But how they actually came together to work together and form this government, it was a union, a marriage of convenience. Because they were being looked for by the International Criminal Court because of violence. Nothing to do with the youth. The two people that are now leading the Kenyan country were wanted by ICC because of violence. Because they are two tribes were fighting, and they say these two were the ones who instigated that violence. So here, we shouldn't look at the youth and say it's the youth that are bringing the violence.
But remember, USSI eventually concluded that they wasn't involved. That's why they didn't go ahead with the...
that is what ICC...
ICC did.
That's what ICC did.
Eventually. Before we go further, I just want to let people know about this again. Ghana Union in the UK, by the way, I just want to let you know, once again, if you just join us, Ghana Union in the UK, in partnership with Ghana Nurses Association in UK, and Western Region Association of Nurses in UK, presenting COVID-19 discussion, which is going to be held here. And it's something to do with the vaccines, the facts and myth. This is going to happen on the Friday, the 12th of February, 2021. And you really need to get to understand what's going on, especially people within our community. This is going to help us in such a way that there are so many things that we don't know about, or some of us don't even read about. It will be very interesting for you to watch this program and also to learn, because knowledge is power. Please get along. Something about Western influences, something that you talked about earlier on. Kenya has more than, I should say, 500,000 white people. There are settlers that have been there. You got a lot of foreigners, as Somalis and so on. And you also have a system whereby there's a lot of influence from the British government, for example. There's a military base there. There's a lot, because the Western government, the Americans and the British, have put a lot of money into, into factories and stuff like that that is existing right now in Kenya. What kind of influence is this? Because I was reading a report by IMF and IMF and the World Bank.
Speaking of, go on.
IMF and the World Bank, they're looking at their investment in the country, and the first thing they did, this is the report which happened after immediately when the virus took, after the elections, the post-election violence. It worried so many of them. In the end, that's where the pressure was coming to Uhuru and all the other leaders who in there and said, look, we've got our investments here worth billions. We don't want, sooner or later, if this continue like this, we'll probably take our money and go, or something like that. So could they have that kind of influence now in Kenya because of the money they put in?
Let's go further. We go way back. The political system that we have in Kenya now and in Africa, it is something that has been handed over from the colonial masters, who are either the French or the British, or Portuguese for other countries where the Portuguese went. Yes, and for us in Kenya, it is the British system that is there. And it is clearly, as Ken said earlier, is a system that does not work for us. But it's a system that works for the West. It works for the British very well, for the English government and for the Commonwealth, because you're in the Commonwealth. It works for them very well because we are kept into that form of colonialism. So you find a lot of things in Kenya, like even the people we trade with, like even the things we can do or things we can't do, we have to get a lot of approval from the UK because colonialism just took another form. So this political system we have, this democratic political system that we have to know this is something that was handed down to us by the colonial masters. So the hold that you are asking is not about the IMF and World Bank. That is just symptom of the bigger colonial system that you were given. The big problem here is that colonial system is like a round peg and we're trying to fix it in a square hole and it's not working. So here when you ask what is their interest or why are they worried? They are worried because there is so much things, there's so much resources. Investments and so on. Resources again that come from Africa, not only Kenya, that come from Africa heading to the West. So wherever there is any semblance of unity, funny enough, whenever there's any semblance of unity of the Africans coming together, or wherever there's any semblance of disharmony of, the country going to fall, the West knows that, things are not going to be well for us. So here, when it comes to elections, and how they're very invested in the elections of Kenya and for other countries as well, is the way their ambassadors speak so loudly when it comes to our Kenyan elections. You will hear, oh, the ambassador of UK to Kenya is speaking. Oh, the ambassador of America, and those two, especially America and US, they are always speaking and always giving oversight. And unless they say it's okay, we will not say it's okay. So you see, their interest goes beyond the investment that they have there. That's the smoke screen we've been given. Their interest goes back to the colonial times. So it is like the colonial master left in 1963, but they left a system that still gives them benefit, that still gave them when the colonial master was still there. So that is where their interest is. Now for us Kenyans, rather than us focus and say, oh, you know, the West is doing this, we Kenyans, we're the ones that need to wake up. We're the ones that have to say, we have had this system from 1963. Every election, things have got worse and worse and worse. It is not working. We get polarized. Now you're saying that probably BBI will bring unity. Right now, even without the BBI, right now, today, where we are, we are already polarized because of the BBI. The BBI has not come with unity. It has come with a lot of disharmony. It has come with a lot of disharmony. The interest of the West is because we are also allowing it. We are allowing it. When UK here has had its elections, I am yet to hear the ambassador of Kenya, the ambassador
talking about anything in
UK. Fact, you won't even hear him comment on it because he knows this is a diplomatic. He's not meant to comment on it. But for us Kenyans, we allow them to comment on them. We allow them to direct things. We allow them. So for that is for us Kenyans to wake up and, you know what, say we are an independent country. We are a republic. We're taking our reins back. It is our people that are suffering. We are going to serve them. But that's where the problem is. I don't think our leaders are there for us. No.
So should we be charged? Should we be blaming ourselves rather than blaming them? Because it's become more of a blame game now.
The issue of foreign direct investments is actually twofold. If you look at it from the perspective of investing, then they also have to protect their interests in that sense. And you must understand that in international trade, interests are protected based on where you invest. So if they do have their investments in Africa, they definitely are supposed to protect their investment based on their interest. Because when you go to negotiate and I invest in your land and you did allow me to invest, you definitely have to have a say because I'm investing. But now let's go back deep a bit. The issue here is that when they come to invest, what terms are they investing in our land? The terms they come with are their terms. You see, that's the problem. I'm coming to your house, but I'm going to dictate to you how I'm going to invest in your house. And I'm going to dictate to you how you're going to run this house. And if you don't run it according to what I want, then we have a problem. You see, that's why the issue comes.
I see your point,
So the international trade is actually a good thing. But the issue with international trade is how much we have been exploited in the international trade. Now, let me tell you something. Even if there was a war in Kenya today, the international community will still benefit.
Of course.
You understand?
Of course,
and they will actually excavate the war so that they can benefit more. Because that's happened in all other countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Central African Republic, in Ivory Coast. All these places we've had conflict.
Or where there's oil.
Or where there's oil. We've also had these people benefiting directly from the war. We've actually seen them take out democratically elected leaders through coup d'etats so as to benefit from. And we know we have these reports are public. If you go right now to read about the reports of places like Libya, places like Cote d'Ivoire, places like Central Republic of Africa, you know very well who are benefiting from the oil there. You know very well who is benefiting from the diamond there. You know very well who is benefiting from everything used to make the phones that we're using in the West. So even if it is war or it is peace, they're benefiting. Now, when it comes to direct benefit with regards to peace, like in a place like Kenya, they want to benefit because they are investing in a peaceful environment in Kenya, but still enjoying the resources with very inadequate policies.
Let me add to that, just to add on that. The other day I was speaking to my mother. My mother is a farmer. And she was telling me how a lot of our traditional vegetables and traditional fruits are going out of existence because all these foreign things have come in, and the foreign vegetables and foreign seeds and wherever they've come in, they require a lot of pesticides and herbicides and fertilizers, and they're damaging now the soil. So the soil is now killing the natural fruits that are coming. These are the foods that Kenyans are going to eat. They're going to be sick because they're eating a lot of these chemicals. Now, somehow we were given these seeds. First of all, we were given these seeds by nature. Kenya was a fertile place. The land is arable. It rains one day, you wake up in the morning, vegetables have grown. It rains in the evening, fruits have grown. So we are eating this. Now we have cut all that. We planted coffee, we planted tea, pyrethrum, whatever it is, these foods that we are importing to the West. And foods that we don't eat ourselves because they're not part and parcel of our palate. So we are now hungry. And now we're starting now to grow things. We don't even have seeds anymore because we're getting seeds from Monsanto and Bayer, all these foreign investing companies that are bringing to us. They're allowed, they're functioning there legally. They've been let in legally in a country whereby people have been farming for years, whereby they've not been hungry. So in this case, when you say, is this a blame game? I would say it's actually putting responsibility, holding people accountable. Some of these problems are our own inflictions. And there's greed. Yes.
I should say most of them.
Most of them. And there is greed and ignorance at the heart of it. Now, when it comes to this idea of greed and ignorance, which, again, there is a little bit of inferiority complex and a lot of things going on. But no matter who brings problems to you, you're the only one who can solve the problems yourself.
Of course.
And that is whereby we have to start solving our own problems. And sometimes solving these problems means that we have to stop being distracted by things like elections and, I don't know, Ruto fell out with who and wherever. No. Sometimes we just have to sit and say, you know what, we need to take responsibility for whatever decisions we make in our lives. And we have to sit down and say, elections came, went, we got poorer. Another election is coming and it will go, we'll even be poorer, we'll have fought, we'll have done this. So we need to now, it's focus. And as Ken said, we have to go back and question this democracy. Is it really working for us? You know?
Yeah, one thing is certain here.
Yeah.
I understand Kenny's questioning about democracy. But when you look at it and the way we all as Africans should look at it, the issue of ethnicity, to me, I think this is where the biggest problem is. Kenya has over 40 tribes. And the issue, as he was trying to say about going on the district level, you know, when you have to make sure that each district in the country has at least some kind of leadership role here from the youth and from all those who are coming in later on. With a big middle class in Kenya. Kenya was doing so well. In fact, it's doing so. It's doing better than Uganda, and a huge, one of the fastest growing economies. Even the South Koreans were, were coming in, and But what has happened now is that the issue of looking at the wealth of the country and where the youth and everything and where we should be going. I think this is where the biggest problem is. And as we thought, Uhuru had tried to make sure that everybody is seated together at the same table, and we are seeing how we can share this. At the beginning, what is said when he was beginning his administration.
You see, now that's the thing.
The biggest surprise now is where did Uhuru go wrong? Because when he started, everybody, in fact, the number of quotes here when he talks about inequalities in Kenya and the way he's trying to end the inequalities within Kenya, and the way to make sure that what his father fought for, President Kenyatta, he's, the kind of things that his father fought for. He was trying to do that at the beginning. His second term in office, things started going wrong. Something somewhere went wrong. But all these things you have mentioned are coming now in the last 4 or 5 years. But the beginning was okay to me and to other Ugandans.
Are you saying that you're saying the country was growing?
When
Uhuru took
because when you look at the gross domestic of Kenya in the last 5 years or 6 years, the GDP was very good.
It was in spite of Uhuru, not because of Uhuru.
What I think
you got to answer.
If I think of it this way, we had a good government before Uhuru, and that we cannot deny in terms of economic development. Now, despite the fact that we have an ailing democracy, we do have some people who actually have the vision of a country and they know what they want to do. Kibaki was one person who actually thought that he actually did try to take the country forward, despite the selfishness of the people around him and the ethnicity that we're talking about right now. Kibaki was actually a good leader. Now, the projects that were put into place right now, as we speak, the infrastructure that Kibaki put left behind are the things that were running during the run of Uhuru Kenyatta. There's nothing that was initiated by the government of Uhuru Kenyatta that at that time when you're talking about that was running. There are things that are running now that they did initiate, like the Standard Gauge Railway, which of course the corruption behind
I know the corruption.
But you know that most of the projects that were running, the economic blueprint that was running through Kibaki's time went into Uhuru's time. Now there's nothing like Uhuru. There's no way Uhuru can fight and make a government that his dad spoiled better. You see, that's the problem.
That's the thing. His father, you've quoted him in very good light.
Very good light.
No, he is the source of our problems.
Oh, really?
Really, he is. Yes.
So just let me finish 1 minute, So if we look at all the promises they did make when they were coming into office, it was under healthcare. Okay. Right now, as we speak, we are struggling with COVID. We didn't even have beds to contain less than 1,000 people when COVID was at its peak. They talked about infrastructure. It is in this second term that we're talking about roads being built. Right now, as we speak, there was no major infrastructure put in place. These people talked about education and laptops. You know about that story?
Of course.
The children we are talking right now with laptop are learning under trees as we speak. Learning under trees. Now, if you're asking what went wrong, now let me tell you what went wrong.
Okay.
When
I'd like to hear that.
Came into office, like Sheila mentioned earlier, it was a marriage of convenience. They did not come together because of any policies they didn't have for the country. They came together because they were indicted by the ICC.
Oh, right,
and and then they were released. And then they said, you know what, because people are now sympathizing with us, because we can gain a lot of sympathy votes, we can actually come together and make this work. And why they were coming together was not even just because they were inducted. They also had the biggest tribes in Kenya. Uhuru was adored by the Kikuyus, which was one of the largest tribes. And Ruto was adored by the Kenyans, one of the largest tribes in Kenya. They did their arithmetic and they knew if we come together, we are going to likely take this post. You think they didn't do any calculation based on what we were thinking or the resources they need to distribute to our people? They thought of it based on what can we get out of it. Now, we have been inducted by the ICC. What can we get out of it? What we can get out of it is power. Then they came back and took the power. Now tell me, if you come to power based on those grounds, are you going to change anything meaningful? Trust me, I can write a policy. Tomorrow, if I sit down the whole day, I can come up with a very perfect document telling you what I will do for that country. And tomorrow I can go to the ground and start campaigning. Doing it is a completely different thing. Now, the most corrupt country and the most corrupt government and the one government that has borrowed money the most is this government.
Of course.
Yes.
5-something trillion as we speak, the largest in our history. Now, that's apart from that. Now, the president himself said recently that we are losing almost 2 billion Kenyan shillings every single day to corruption. The president himself said that. The president himself came to the podium and said, what do you expect me people to do? Everyone around me is stealing.
Even said Kenyans are thieves.
So what went wrong? He knew everything. The people he had around him were all thieves, and he knew it when he was going in power. His family is involved in a lot of corrupt deals. He knew about it when he was going into power. So there's nothing that went wrong. Everything was wrong from the beginning. The coalition was wrong, the grounds for it was wrong, and there was no vision for the country. It was a vision for themselves. They knew very well where they wanted to take themselves to. Uhuru wanted to be the president of the country and he needed the help of Ruto.
Of course,
ethnically. And Ruto wants to be the president now. He needs the help of Uhuru, but Uhuru is not budging. Now that's bringing a problem now.
Okay, now to add on what Ken has said.
I wanted to bring in somebody here before we go further. Raila Oginga Odinga, and also the son of the former President Moi. President Moi's son, Gideon Moi. These two are on a certain platform which is climbing, and people have started seeing what Raila has been saying for quite some time, despite the fact that he's a Jaluo and all that, the father's background as a former vice president and so on. He was always on loggerheads with Uhuru and so on, but he's now with the BPI and all that. People are trying to see that he has points in what he's trying to say. Do you guys think Gideon and Uhuru could have, Gideon Moi and Raila may have something to play in the next year's election?
Yes, they will have a place. You see, the thing is, we've got very greedy politicians, including Raila and Gideon, extremely greedy people that feel that the Kenyan national cake should be the biggest pieces belongs to them and only they should get them. And because they're placed in
that's about dynasty.
And because they're placed that high up, they feel entitled to be the ones that say this is ours. Good people would say, we've already been up here. There are millions of Kenyans. There are people like Ken who want to come up and a lot of other people. Let's give them the chance. They don't. They're hogging these spaces. So they're part of the problem, part of the biggest problem. Having said that, Raila has done a lot for Kenya. So there are things that he has done that we actually say, you know what, we give him thanks for that. However, he is now part of the problem. He is now part of the problem just as much as Uhuru and Ruto are. They're part of the problem, yes. Now, first of all, Uhuru and Ruto now are having a problem. But the way they speak, or the way Uhuru speaks, it makes it look like Ruto just came out of nowhere. He just fell into that vice president position. Uhuru brought Ruto to that position.
Of course.
They come together. He brought him there. So if he has problem, this is their own issue then. Now, these two people had a marriage of convenience.
Of course, yeah.
And now with the handshake, after the election that was cancelled and all this, when the handshake came, Raila became like, who was Ruto, got sidelined in preference for this new woman. So it causes a lot of disharmony in there between them. So now Raila coming in there is causing so much disharmony, but he's not, I'm very dubious about his role in coming in now. I think it's the easiest way for him to get into presidency next year, or to having a position next year. Because him coming together has not necessarily brought harmony in the country as was expected. It has brought disharmony in another way, in that before the Luos, where Raila ethnicity comes in, the Luos, who Raila was their spokesperson, were the ones who were misaligned. They're the ones who are discriminated and, you know, put aside from the government. Now with Raila having shaken hands with Uhuru, Luos somehow have become part of the government. But they have edged out the Kalenjins through Ruto. So you see this, it's making it look like the national cake can only be accommodated by certain people, and when you add other people in it, it just falls apart. There comes disharmony in it. Now Gideon Moi, how he comes in, it looks like there was a pact between Moi. We know there was a pact between Kenyatta and Moi. And the pact was that Uhuru will take over. And it looks like there was a pact. It looks like, you know, these things, you know, when it starts smoking, you know, there's a fire. So it looks like Uhuru had a pact with Moi that Gideon was somehow going to get somewhere there. Gideon, as we speak right now, he already has a position in government. So sometimes when you've already had the position and your scorecard is not the best, don't go for a bigger one. You know, let other people come there. But this is the thing, they're going to play amongst themselves, cause a lot of polarities and divisions amongst the people, make it look like it's only us that are entitled here, frustrate newcomers that want to come in those positions, frustrate the media, you know, that wants to raise activism voices and say this and that. Basically, because it is, as Ken said before, it is people that have sat at the table and they've decided we are going to cut this way, and eat amongst ourselves. And the crumbs, wherever they fall, let them deal with the crumbs.
So but again, Raila comes into the picture in the sense that, like you said, Raila has done a lot of stuff for the country. But you see, if you continue doing something consistently and vying for the same position, people stop focusing on the good things you've done, and they start focusing on the fact that why are you so insistent on getting this leadership? It's because a country with 46 million people, it's not written anywhere that you must be the president to succeed. The country can succeed.
Saying this is my turn, this is our turn.
And that tells you the problem we have in Africa as a whole. Now, that's why I was telling you, most of our problems are actually the same. There's no country that's ahead, and that's the illusion we do get. And that's also another illusion that the Western plays on our head for us to think that we are better than the others. The fact is, we are not better than the others, socially, economically, and politically. Raila Odinga has vied so many times and he's failed to get it. I believe it's won at some point, but because of the same electoral system that doesn't work, he's not been able to actually get to the seat. You know, that's very clear. So right now, for me, if I cozy up, if I believe in certain principles, which I believe Raila has certain principles, he should not cozy up to a system that has messed him up and made him not get what he actually deserved at the right time. He shouldn't cozy up to them and allow them to endorse him. Because you should not be endorsed by a thief, unless you're a thief yourself. You understand? So if I want to maintain a clean image in politics, and this is a problem we have in Africa, we need to address it properly. We have this individual worship. And Raila now has created what he calls individual worship in himself. Now, the people in ODM as a party, they are stopped being a party. They are just people worshipping Raila. If Raila walked out of ODM tomorrow and formed a new party, I can tell you categorically, 99% of those MPs and those governors will walk with him to that party. Really? It does not matter. I can tell you that for sure right now. It does not matter. It does not matter the principles Raila stand for. They are looking at Raila, the person. But now that's a big problem for a continent if we are all looking at a particular person.
Of course, individualism. That's a skill.
Idol worship.
That's the biggest problem in Uganda.
The biggest problem we have. So right now, as we speak, Ruto, you're talking about right now, has a pseudo party. He is in government through Jubilee, right? But because he was elected, using our constitution, remember, he wasn't appointed, he was elected, he is able to stay in his position, he can't be fired, but he has a party through which he's doing his other things and opposing the person he's supposed to be working with. Now tell me how this is supposed to work, because if you came with certain principles and policies and manifesto in government, there were manifestos that were founded on a party. Now, if you are still in this particular party, but you have a pseudo party somewhere, and you are constantly opposing the same manifesto and the policies that you came with, what kind of politics is that? And how can we proceed?
I think what he's trying to say here is that I can do a job better than this person.
But that's the issue.
I mean, this is how politics is played. This is what happened here between what is the lady, the Prime Minister? Theresa May and Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson constantly undermined Theresa May. But constantly said, I know. And if there was a way he could have formed another party, he could have Johnson would have done that. But because there was no any other way, he kept on going under all the other. Eventually, obviously, she left the Prime Ministership and he won the election and all that. But now, the funny thing is, he's using some of her policies whenever the EU Brexit, most of the things that were but anyway, that's pretty.
But it's relevant in a way that when there is disharmony within the party, the party itself can say, let us go within ourselves, let us go and have a meeting and see how we can remedy this, even if it involves getting rid of someone that's sitting at the top. Remember, Cameron, May took after Cameron. And that's after Cameron failed the Brexit referendum and all that. So May came, there was an election between May and someone else, and May won it. And even as she paved way, she was actually basically kicked out by the party for Boris to come. Now, in Kenya, the government, right now, the president and vice president are the ones causing a lot of disharmony within the country with this hustler dynasty thing. Technically, their party should come and say, we have got these two people at the top, let's clear them and bring them somewhere else. Because the party has many other people. And a change is always a good thing. But you know what? They will stay there, create disharmony. People will keep on, getting polarized. But they will sit there. And 2022, rest assured, they may still both be in government.
I think Kenya has got too much money. We've got too much money to throw around. Where corruption comes in is that if politicians have been paid a lot of money, politicians have deals that are bringing in a lot of money. This is where most of the scrambles come from. I mean, I can understand the issue of Uganda, for example, Museveni standing up and controlling everything. But the Kenyan system is different in a sense that you can go as an MP tomorrow and become and get a deal done somewhere. You get your money. So your money will make you stand up and challenge the others. Then another person will probably do something similar. There's a lot of money going on within the political circles within Kenya. This is what a friend of mine was telling me. Say, Steve, if you can come to Kenya tomorrow, and I won't surprise if you qualify as an MP tomorrow and you're a millionaire. Remember us once you are there.
I won't get my millions. But let me tell you something about money and politics is very important. Anytime you're discussing African politics, you can't put aside money.
Of course you can't.
It's obvious.
And
that's why
they go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. And in Kenya, it's even a notch higher. All the deals are concentrated within the political class, including these people we see fighting in public. Let me tell you, by the way, they run businesses together. They do deals together behind the scenes. Now, the issue here, Melinda, we should be talking about is where is the main problem? The main problem is with the people in the minds of the people like us. If we can fall for a narrative of hustler versus dynasty, for someone who has supported dynasty all his life,
and is
Ruto,
rich,
who is now talking about a hustler, is a billionaire,
of course,
multi-billionaire,
of course,
and he has supported the dynasties. He has supported Raila, he has supported Uhuru, he supported Moi, all these people. He supported Kibaki at some point, and actually was in Kibaki's government. Now all these are dynasties. Now all this while he has supported dynasties until such a time when now I want to get into power. Now he's saying that we should not support dynasties. We should be supporting. Now who do you think the problem is? Is the problem with the mindset of our people. The problem is in the mindset. Actually, we're not going to solve any issue in these discussions if we don't focus the discussion on the mindset of the common man and not the 3-4 people we're talking about right now. If we do not change how we think and how we view the political class, there's no change that's going to happen. Right now, as we speak to you, they're talking about wheelbarrows. Ruto sat on a podium and promised people jobs.
I heard
he
that,
said clearly that if you graduate in Kenya, you will definitely be taken in by the government to do your internship, and then you'll be given a job within 1 or 2 years. As we speak, he's giving those graduates wheelbarrows. And he's telling them that he wants these hustlers to take over power. Now, as we speak, every time he's going to address the hustlers, he has 5 helicopters after him.
Wow.
Every time.
Wow.
The hustler.
And when he reaches his destination, he gives them wheelbarrows. When he leaves the wheelbarrows, he gets into his helicopter and goes to its 5 billion worth home.
And people are cheering him.
And we are cheering.
We are happy.
Including people who are here in Europe. We have Kenyans here in Europe who are supporting this hustler dynasty narrative. And you can find them in WhatsApp groups fighting the whole day, talking about how they support Ruto. And you ask me one simple question. Ruto, as we speak, is in government. What have they done in 10 years? The issue of hustler and the dynasty began 2-3 years ago. What have they done since they got into power? We're doing our next elections next year.
Over 10 years ago.
Over 10 years ago. We're still grappling with the same health issues, the same corruption level. Actually, the corruption level has gone much higher. The debt levels have gone much higher. The education system has gone lower. The infrastructure has gone lower. So what exactly has this person who is now going to save you next year has he done? Now that's the question we should ask ourselves. And from there on, we should actually not even think of elections and voting. We should actually revolt and take all these political parties and think of the next.
And throw a few people in jail. And speaking of money, you said in Kenya there's a lot of money. I believe there's a lot of money. For the sole reason there's a lot of stolen money with no one being held accountable. So it is like this, the government treasury, or there's money there where you can just go
because the crude oil, when crude oil came, people disappeared to the Chinese because the Chinese were opening a check. They said, look, there's a check here. Now that we've seen what you have. Then electricity came. When the dams, when those areas that, but I understand all that had been commissioned during Mike Kibaki's government. So he's using that advantage. He has used that advantage to help him. I'm thinking somewhere there are a number of women who are coming up in the Kenyan politics. Will these women ever be given certain roles? Because we've tried that aspect in Uganda.
Of women, but I don't think it will help.
I see you going into that. There's Margaret somebody, and there are about several women, but they were being put down, and I've seen them in Parliament putting their argument across. But somebody even said, keep yourself to social issues involving whether men should marry 3 or 4 more women, because that has been an issue in Kenya, which is now a law. A Kenyan man can marry as many women as he wants, as traditionally, whether he's a Christian or not. It's an approach. So they were being told to keep themselves into that. What can we do? Because we don't really want them. We've educated them. We've given them all that. Why should they?
Let's. I'm passionate.
I can tell.
Anyway, what I would say in Kenya, it's a patriarchal society whereby things are skewed in favor of the man. This is very, very un-African. In Africa, even in Kenya in 2021, when you go in the home, it is the mother that has the say. It's the mother that says what children will eat, which clothes will wear. She even says what clothes the man will wear,
of course,
what he will eat. So it is the mother that is the custodian of the home. The home is a small government, is a small parliament by itself.
Of course, of course,
So we know our women can lead. Women are in the workforce. They're also winning there in the workforce. Women are the ones, most teachers are also women. The nurses, the midwives, whatever, are women. So we have women in these positions already. However, when it comes to power, and this is where the Western influence comes, because patriarchy is a Western thing. So when it comes to power and all these things, we don't want women there. And the whole reason why we don't want women there, I believe, is because at the heart of it, we know that if we give this country to women, the nurturing spirit will come on. And when it comes on, order will be restored. And so you find it's not only our men that don't want the women to be there. It is also the influences from the West and everything. Now we are having positions that are put, like we have women rep positions, and we've got also nomination positions where we're getting women to come in because they've realized that just going on the campaign trail as a woman in a system that is skewed against the woman becomes very hard for the woman. So now we have positions whereby are set for only the women. So we have got like the nomination slots, and you find women getting through there.
Okay.
So you've got a lot of nominated people that are women, nominated positions that are women, and then you've got the women rep position whereby you have women. And of course, women are also allowed to compete in any position. They can compete for governor, MP, whatever. Yeah. However, corruption is a very bad thing. Some of these women that are being chosen as nominated leaders, some of them that are being given this women rep position, it's like this patronage. The wives, the girlfriends, the daughters, the whatever, it's ethnicity. Now this is not now ethnicity. This is now, how do you know this woman? Yes, it's a nepotism. Nepotism and gender issue. So now we are having women that are not qualified to be in these positions, in those positions, and because we're already coming from a point whereby we think women cannot lead, then we put there really a woman that cannot lead. It now gives credence to that argument that women cannot lead. And because these women that are there that cannot lead, that have been plucked there, you know, to put there as flowers to just look beautiful and tick that box, they now frustrate women that have passion for leading. They now become the biggest frustrator of these women. And at the same time, the limelight is on them because they're thinking, okay, we put a woman there, what are they doing? So what I would say in this case, what we need to go back to, we need to first of all go back to the African way of respecting the woman, the mother. The mother is the same. You'll hear grown men fear the mother more than they fear the father. Because when the mother speaks, she can be a small tiny woman and the man is a big one, but mother has spoken. I am quiet. So when we go to that point whereby we give respect to the women and know that these are women, this could be my mother, this is someone's mother, this could be my sister, this could be my daughter. When we give that respect, we will start giving women will start getting elected properly. But right now, when corruption is there, when it comes with violence, it comes with misogyny, it comes with very odd sexist things, it actually puts off women from going on that.
The issue of women actually is very deep now. When we're talking about all these political issues, we have to think of what actually went wrong where that makes us so ill and so averse to things that should actually be helping us. Because really, the African person, individual, let's look at our elections. We are always focusing on ourselves, selfishness, and all this, lack of values, basically. But why do we lack values, and where did the problem come? It's from the nurturing. Right now, a child being nurtured in Kenya worships money. The way you're talking about money right now, when you said Kenya, the man in Kenya, when a child is coming up, they're thinking, how can I get my share? That's it. They don't think about how can I change my society or my community. So it means this issue we're talking about, all the problems we're talking about in the national limelight come from the nurturing part. Who nurtures the child is the woman.
Of course.
Personally, I'm nurtured by my mother. I can tell you categorically, I don't remember the single time, apart from maybe a few meetings here and there with my dad, but I know that every single thing was nurtured by my mom. So I do believe that all my beliefs and my perspective about the world and what I want to do is nurtured from the mother. Now, if this mother is able to nurture me to be sitting here with you today, why don't we trust that this woman can lead a country? You see, that's the thing.
But I'm looking at it more from a cultural point of view, because all of Africa, Africa is what I'm saying. Africa is a male-dominated society.
That's a false thing.
When it comes up, as we move into the 21st century, we need to start looking back at some of our cultural aspects and say, oh, hang on a minute. As it used to be, girls wouldn't be educated. Well, they would get married.
But was that our
culture? No, it wasn't. What I'm saying is we need to revisit most of those things in the past. I brought that as an example. And revisit that and say, hang on a minute, I'm raising a girl and I'm raising a boy. I'm putting both of them at the same level. I'm giving them the same education. I'm giving them the same amount. And when I die tomorrow or something, they share in whatever. Which you hardly find. Our cultures are such, oh, you're giving the son, you're giving the daughter, you're giving... So that's what I'm trying to say. It moves from the home and it goes straight away to society, and it's moved into politics, which and yet at home your mother had it was the law, is everything, but when it goes outside,
why do you think that happens?
I think it's the dominance of the men outside.
And you know where that came from? Let me tell you. Just as we finish, what we have to know is that we are living in post-colonial era. And what we always have to know, which sometimes we just forget, is that we have not healed from the wounds that colonialism subjected us to. And we have not, if we healed, we'll get rid of any colonial vestige that remained. One of them is politics. We'll get this political systems as it is with the democracy and everything and just throw them out. We'll get rid of the education system as it is, because it is one thing that furthers this white supremacy thing. So we'll get it and throw it out. Our education system doesn't empower us. Part of the problem why we are putting up with this political situation that keeps harming us is because of our education system. We will deal with patriarchy, which is another thing that we've been given, the gender relations. Again, colonialism brought that. We'll throw it out. This one is going to be a bit touchy, but it's true. We need to throw it out. Religion. The religion that was brought again by the colonial master, we need to throw it out. The entertainment industry, the law industry, the legal system, we need to throw it out. The economic system that we have now, the capitalism, does not work for Africa. We need to throw it out. There are things that we were given by the colonial master that are still very much there. And what it has done, it has given us something called mental enslavement. We've got the mental slavery in our heads. And these problems, when you talk of politics today, tomorrow you talk of health, the other day we speak about this and we speak about that. They're all symptoms. They are symptoms of a problem that we need to go back and say, this is where the rain started beating us. As Chinua Achebe says, rain beating us. I said, this is where the rain started beating us. And this is where we need to start solving our problems.
That's a massive journey. If we're
we need to do it.
When I look at it,
we need to do it.
It's like, oh gosh.
The
biggest impossible thing.
It's not impossible.
You are cutting out. The next thing you're going to say, we even need to change our way of dressing.
Yes, if it comes to it. No, if it comes to it. You know why? You know, Melinda, why? Time is always moving forward, 1963, Kenya got its independence. Many decades later, we are in a worse state. We are in debt. Right now, Uhuru, that you are talking that he's done good things, he's now taken us to IMF, which Kibaki had taken us away from.
Of course.
Now he's taking us there. Now we even have Chinese. So on top of what the British had, now the Chinese are also coming there to take. So you see, if we don't do anything now, 20, 30 years, 40, 50 years, 100 years from now, we'll be in a worse state than where we are now. So we shouldn't look at some things and say this is a big undertaking. We really don't have the luxury of not doing anything about it.
Of course,
we don't have that luxury.
I think we're running out of time. Go ahead.
Okay, what she does say is what's ideal. What we actually, I would actually propose. But because of where we are, like you said, this is where we are. This is the reality we are dealing with. We're dealing with the capitalistic system, the education system, the religion and stuff. Of course, religion needs to be cut off anyway. Because religion can't be cut off. But if you think about it in this sense that our values, if we can go back to our values, now the things we need to do is, if we can ensure that the education system we have can contain values that were essentially African, certain values that when you're coming up, honesty, for example, integrity, for example, if we do not go down to the values that we had as a society, there's nowhere we're going to. And this I always say on all my TV interviews, I say one thing, there's nowhere Africa will go to for the next 50 years. We will still be having these discussions on TV.
Of course.
If we do not change the values of the society. We do not teach our children that what is this person is doing is wrong. Because this is what will they see. But we have to tell them what is right for them to do. Because right now our education is focused on drilling in the examination system and passing and getting a job. But can we focus on teaching real values? What is something that how should you behave in a society? What should you expect in a society? Why do you need to change the society and not individuals? So we need to focus much more on our values. And then the second thing is, if we are serious about changing these political systems, and we have them as we are right now, we need to be revolting to a certain level. And revolting doesn't mean you have to go to the streets. Economically, you can revolt. Educationally, you can revolt. Mentally, you can revolt. You don't have to go to the streets. You can say, you know what, I'm not going to follow what you tell me economically. I'm going to do it the way I think it's right for my society. I'm not going to follow what you teach me in school because this is how it has to be done. I'm going to come up with my way of solving this problem. And I'm going to solve it. So if we have a mental revolution and we start thinking differently, we're going to change the society for sure. But if we are going to stay where we are and expect to get good leaders to take us to Canaan, as they always say, we're not going anywhere. I can tell you that for sure.
The entire structure from what both of you are talking are saying needs to be, like, say for example, put an overhaul on each and everything. Uproot it. Which when I look at it, it's as good as impossible. Because we have all come in, we have all gone through the system, and all those people, it's extremely difficult. we're coming towards the end of the program. Sorry, time usually becomes a big factor. I just want to repeat the same for those who wants to be with us. The Ghana Union UK partnership with Ghana Nurses Association UK and Western Association of Nurses UK presents a topic which is COVID-19 and the vaccines and facts and myth. You really don't need to miss this. Friday the 12th of February 2021 at 7 p.m. It's extremely interesting because we're living in a very hard time right now, and those hard times to do obviously with the virus. Where we're putting on masks and we're doing everything. So we really have no choice as far as this is concerned. But it's very educational. Please join us on that. I want to thank you both for coming in here and obviously show your partner, your passion with the Kenya, and I really look forward to the elections next year. And if you're going into politics, well, a safe journey, because
I'm going to politics and I'm going to change things.
I would also like her to go into politics as well, because you've got the passion, you've got the ideas, you've got both of you have got the passion and the ideas, which is very good, very rare. You find a lot of people doing the blame game, but you both have solutions, and that is what is more important. I really hate blame. No. It doesn't matter. Thank you very much.
Can I say a parting shot? Just one. What I would say, for us as an African people, what we have to do, we have to Africanize ourselves. If we can Africanize our children, we start teaching them the African way, we start making them proud to be African, because there is an African way and there is an African way to be. We start teaching them to be African, and this I'm calling to all the parents, especially the mothers, Africanize your children early. And for all of us here and all around Africa that is watching, Africanize yourself. That is the solution.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
I just want to say once again, thank you very, very much for viewing us, and I look forward for another program of Africa Speaks next week. Thank you, and may God bless you.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them. At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there